Hi, this is Douglas Robinson with DevEdit Software LLC, and I'm here to show you our new Blueprint Splitter application. This basically functions in the exact opposite way as the Blueprint Merge application we have, and it's intended to take a very large Blueprint file that may not be able to be published on your system if your system doesn't have enough resources or the file is just extremely big, like 10, 20, 50 megabytes in size, and split it up into a designated file size of many smaller blueprints. So without much further ado, in the background here I have a fairly large blueprint. It's about 11 megabytes in size, and it contains a whole host of business objects. So this might be a blueprint that we've been doing a lot of work on all at once, and we haven't been doing the efficient thing and splitting our work out into many smaller blueprints. And we got this all published out on our dev environment, and then we moved this up to prod, and we tried opening the blueprint and it just won't open. The app or the admin tool just freezes, or it gives us a not enough quota error, and that's where we're at. So if we have this problem, we can back out of our blueprint here. We can open up our blueprint splitter tool here, and we can see very clear instructions on the screen. We just select the blueprint that we need to split up. It's our blueprint splitter test blueprint right here. It's going to take a couple of seconds for it to read. You can see in the background here it's doing some work. It pulls in the actual file path that you selected. It's going to show, for your convenience, if you're a power user, the actual XML of the blueprint that you're opening. So if you need to do something with that blueprint, you can browse through it here. You can very quickly copy and paste it into Notepad++. You have a label here for split blueprints to this size. This is where you're going to enter in the file size limit for how large you want your blueprint split up into from that main one, and then you select where you want the output to go. So here we're going to say blueprint splitter output. Just put in the name of the file, and it's going to do that file plus a count for every blueprint that it splits out. So if you click on this button right here where it says click here to split blueprints, it is then going to step through everything in that major original blueprint, and then it'll give you a pop-up when it's done. And we'll see here we have 7 individual, sorry, so it shows 0 through 6. It's actually 7 of these individual blueprint files. Each of them is either under the 2 megabyte file size limit or goes right up to it. That's all there is to our application. You can then open up these individual blueprint files and see the contents of them. Each one is going to have a subset of the original blueprint contents. And aside from that, the only really important note that I have is when you do this, because the contents of that blueprint will be split into many different files, you may not be able to scan your blueprints. If it's new work and new business objects, you might have a new form that doesn't go with a new business object yet, and it might throw up an error message. Or you might have things that go into one blueprint of this subset that don't actually exist yet. So you're going to have to, when you publish, you'll have to uncheck scan for errors, because you will get, if it's brand new work that doesn't exist in your production system yet, you may get some error messages. But aside from that, if you publish this out and you decide you need to roll back, the rollback process is going to be simple, because when you publish this blueprint, it is going to create a rollback for each one. So when you open these up, you'll publish them out in the order that they were split into, and when you roll them back, you'll just roll back in the opposite order for each one. Or you take the rollback from your dev environment from the original very large file, but this has some implications if your dev environment isn't in sync with your production one. So the ideal method would be you publish through all of these. If you need to roll back, you roll back in the opposite order from the rollbacks that you got from your prod environment. That's all there is to it. If you have any questions about our new Blueprint Splitter application, you can leave them in the comment section below. You can expect to see this in the map exchange for Cherwell over the next couple of days at some point this week, and it will appear on our store very imminently. Thanks. Have a nice day.